Hello everyone. Alright, starting my stream. We're gonna do the qualifier best of three. Um, I'm recording this, so I'm gonna do probably upload this to YouTube after it. Whether I win or lose in this, it's a best of three match, but you can only lose one time and you're out. So you kind of have to win all of your games. Um, I really want to play in this event next weekend, but I need this the qualifier weekend entry, which will be really amazing to be able to play next weekend for that. Um, Last weekend, I didn't do so. I did pretty well in my events. I was able to play in multiples because of uh, my records, but I never was able to close in the deal. I got to the finals a couple times and lost, and that happens. So hopefully here we could do really well. I've done enough of the sealed. I really know the format very well. I understand the mechanics that I look out for, what kind of ways I need to play in order for it to have the best outcome. And sealed best of three is a very interesting format that you don't get to practice for at all because they don't offer that on here. Um, so without further ado, I'm going to crack open these packs and pray for a miracle. All right, here we go. Nice. Oh, this is the first time I've ever opened the Ancient Dragon. Very good card. Very, very good. A Sworn Legion and a Basilisk Collar. These are very phenomenal cards. There's a Blood Money here and Will the Pact. And this card's really bad, but in this format, I actually think it's great as a Brawl Commander, but we're not talking about that. But we have very good playable bombs, actually. Basilisk Collar, probably the best card out of all of them, but Ancient Gold Dragon is an in the game card. If you don't answer this, you will lose. Like, out of all of the Elder Dragons, this is the best one. Like, I don't think any of the other ones even come close. Um, Sworn to the Legion, a phenomenal magic card, very powerful. Now, we might run into an issue where we don't get any other playable white cards, which I think will be far fetched, but let's see. Hopefully, we get to play white. That's definitely where I want to be. Okay, so we have none of the 2-drop white cards, which is a little upsetting, but we have a lot of the good cards in white. We got a unicorn, 2 unicorns, Lulu. Um, I'll hold off on the removal. I just want to put the creatures in our deck. Paladin, Squadron will be fine. Ancient Dragon, and the Naga. Now, black, we have a Ghast. I'm probably going to skip blue. I'll just go over it really fast. Guild Thief is not great. Um, the Invoker's not necessary. Blur is a pretty good card. Charm Sleep is okay. Clever Conjurer, not very great. Overall, Lizard Librarians gets a bad rap for being a 2/4. It has Double Team. It's a pretty powerful card in that respect, but still not that great. The Water Weird is a fun card. The Giant is fine. Water Elemental's fine. Draconic Lore, splashable card in a deck like this if we so desire it. And then there's the Serpent, which is actually a pretty good card. I think that's the best blue card out of this. With that being said, blue does not look that very good. But in our black looks great. We have a Shambling Ghast, a great turn 1 to complement our other turn 1 play. We got a Boneclaw Cleric, that's another 2-drop that's fine. 2 Deadly Disputes, which is a phenomenal magic card in this format. With a Prowler as another 2-drop. Horde Robber, not that good. I probably would play it if I had to. Nefarious Imp is a fine card. We got 3 of those. Skullport Merchant, a phenomenal magic card. By all means, just a great card. We got a Vampire Spawn, which is nice. Then we have a premium removal in Grim Bounty. Chain Devil is not terrible. We got 2 hook horrors, which would go great with the Deadly Disputes and the the Merchant. So there is that. Plus, there's Blood Money, which is a pretty cool late game card. And we have Eyes of the Beholder, which is a fine removal if we have to play it. And Baleful Beholder, which is a very good card. Now we go over to the red. So I'm just going to put the creatures that we have in these colors in the deck. And that'll give us a better picture of what our deck could potentially be. We do have some decent red cards here. Warcaller, Rabble Rouser, Captain, Jaded Sellswords are fine. The Duelist is a really powerful card. Elemental and Gut is also very good. In green, we have the Innkeeper. A Dryad is fine. Sylvan Shepherd. We got 2 Micronids, which is very good. Inspiring Bard, which is fine. The Hill Giant is a good bomb. We have a Dread Lenorm, which is a fine card. It's actually a really good reason to be in green. Here's 2 black-red cards that are good. The Painters. There is a Raga Draga, Gorgut's Boss, Human Boar, which is weird to be a human boar. What's interesting is that this is good with each creature with a mana ability. The only creatures that we have in our deck with mana abilities are the Micronids, which is a fine reason to play that card. It's a 4/4 for 4, so it's not bad. It's definitely better than a Jaded Sellsword, a Chain Devil. Like any of these guys, these are all creatures that have abilities, but this is just a 4/4 for 4. And it also says if you cast something for 7 mana, untap target creature, it gets +7/+7 and trample. We have 1, 2, 3 creatures in green-white that are above 7 mana to cast, and these are all playable cards in the main deck, which is really cool to consider. And then there's Thrakkus the Butcher, which is a 6/4 attacker for 5 mana, which is fine. I don't particularly love the red cards that I saw, but we'll put these in here so we can get a better gauge. Lyra of the Flaming Fist. This card is interesting. It's a good grizzly bear, but what makes it pretty strong is its ability to its main ability, which is each creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Is the same number name as other creatures you control or creature in your graveyard. We technically don't have that, so that part is not that great. It's a second ability, only once per game that this card is in play. So if it died, you can return it from your graveyard and replay it. I'm pretty sure you can activate the ability. But being able to give another creature double team and first strike can be very powerful in the long run, which is pretty neat. It is a 2/2 for 2, so if we played red-white, that would be fine. I don't know how much that's going to be the case. Then we have a Pilgrim's Eye and an Iron Golem, and that is all of our creatures minus blue. Which makes me hesitant to say that this was a great draft. I don't think blue's very good, so that's a plus on our side. I will say that we have a haberdashery here. We want to look at the artifacts. We really didn't get much in the way of fixing. We got Lantern of Revealing, which is fine, and Navigation Orb. And I did notice that we had a red gate. That's all the gates that we have. So basically this would be just like an expensive tutor for 2 basics. So 5 mana to go get 2 lands, put them in, reveal those, put 1 on the battlefield tapped. Which makes it a little bit better, but it's still kind of bad. I don't know. An overcosted artifact. Yeah, so. Alright, so looking at this, black-red forms the best curve, which saddens me a little bit, but it doesn't prevent me from playing white. However, our white cards on 3 are pretty good. Like, Celestial Unicorn is fine. Not that good. We have a Priest. Lulu can gain life. Um, this drains for a turn. This can gain a life. Uh, Inspiring Bard can. It requires a lot of support for the Unicorn to be good enough to play. Um, but looking at it, I really want to play the Ancient Dragon and the other Mythic we got in white. So I am looking at that. I may not play red, but red is actually not terrible. So a red gets a Goblin Warcaller, Rebel Browser, Captain, and Reclusive Painter. We get 2 of those, so black-red looks really promising. There is a Prosperous Innkeeper. I did forget to mention that with the Unicorn, which is a nice curve too, but we don't really have a lot of 2-drops in green. So the only benefits to playing green is that we get to have Micronid. Innkeeper's fine. Shepherd's really not that great. Circle the Moon Druid is fine, but we really don't have very many support cards in green that I saw that stick out to me. We have Poison the Blade, Druidic Ritual, and Jade Orb of the Dragonkind, which is not great. So, with seeing all of that, I think we can safely cut green from the picture without feeling too bad about it. Double Micronid makes me a little sad. I do think this card's quite good, but yeah, I just don't think it's necessary based on what we have here. So we're clearing this up, and now we're down to 3 colors. So breaking down your sealed deck, especially in a competitive format, we're given a lot more time on Arena, but if you were sitting down at GP, the best strategy is always grab all the creatures, put them all in order, look at them all in the converted mana cost. You will find the best curve and what colors you need to go in order to make that deck work. In our case, we happen to find that white-black, red-black, and red-white. I think red-white is not quite good enough, but it could be. We have Warcaller and Unicorn. We get the Rebel Rouser, the Captain, and the Flaming Fist. The issue here, that's only 5 drops. You want about 6 early game cards to kind of just help perpetuate your ability to stay in the game, because other people will play aggressive shells. We do get Basilisk Collar, so that can negate some of our shortcomings in the early game in a huge way. But you don't always draw Basilisk Collar. But in best of 3 games, you're definitely going to see a difference in your deck. Red does offer improvised weaponry. We're going to have decent removal in our deck because we have, and especially if we play white, we get 2 Minimus Containment, which is fine, Imprisonment, which is fine. But black does offer us a little bit more flexibility in the form of removal and a deep destroy all creatures, which can be very powerful. So we have a little bit of that going our way. This is just going to be tricky because our black-red looks really savage on our curve. I'm probably not going to play Horde Robber regardless of what I get, so I'm going to cut it now. I don't think that card's very good in this format. It's too hard to get in early damage with it, and when you have to work to get damage in for 1 point of damage in this format, I don't think it's necessarily good unless you have a serious treasure base, and really, we do have 2 Reclusive Painters, but that doesn't offer that much. It is fine with Nefarious Imp, which we do have 3 of those. And it's okay with Jaded Sellsword, but I'm not really looking into that as much. I think Jaded Sellsword is a great 2-of with 2 painters, so that is really cool. Granted, our 3-drops, if we really look at it, Skullport Merchant is definitely probably our best one of all the 3-drops. And I think the next one that I would go with, being the next powerful 3-drop, would be our Radicast, followed by Lulu, and then immediately with Ancient Lore. I really do like our white 3-drops much more than our black ones. Our black ones are good because we do get the spawn. Nefarious Imps are a great creature. It's a 2/1 flyer. A lot of the times people just overlook having an answer to this. Like Ettercap is a fine card, but not everybody plays that card. But we are playing best of 3, so it's always best to know all of our outs and options. So we want to play a deck that gives us the most odds to win game 1, so we can play games 2 and 3 at an optimizational higher level. So that's why I'm taking my time trying to figure out what my best main deck should be. So with that being in mind, I'm going to put in our artifact that we know we're going to run. We're going to run Basil's Collar, without a shadow of a doubt. Probably not going to run these, at least not right now. And then I'm just going to select these colors to be the options. And I'm going to cut first. I'm going to cut red from the deck and see what that looks like. Alright, so without any removal or anything, our deck looks like a really high turn 3 play. Our early game are essentially Basil's Collars whenever you need it. So it's more of like a 5-drop. Typically, you can get it out earlier, but it's usually that surprise, oh, look, I got this card, you're in trouble now, you know. You can definitely change your strategy on a dime. I do like playing black-white a lot in this format because it's really interesting. So we have 4 2-to-1 drops, which is not surprising since we do have a lot of late-game cards. Ancient Dragon is such a great card to play too that it really makes me go, I really think we should try it to get there. If I had to make any cuts right now, probably be Chain Devil. I think that's not that good. And it's fine with double Hook Horror, but Hook Horror could go. We could probably cut a Devil and a Hook Horror in this particular build. I don't think Unicorn's very good in this list. And the black-white here, we definitely want to keep our flyers. If we're going to play Lulu, we wouldn't want the flyers. Since we have 5 flyers on the early end, it's pretty cool to have those in there. Yeah, I probably would cut Unicorn. It's fine. It's a 3/2 for 3, which is trades with most creatures. It's just not that great. So let's check out what that is. We do have the Stalwart, which is good with Priest. It's fine with like Skullport Merchant. It's fine with Nefarious Imps because they can scry off of it, which is fine. I definitely would make that play. You can get additional land off of the Pilgrim's Eye, so I do think this is quite good. It's also good with Chain Devil, which is fine. Chain Devil has some good sacrifice outlets. Let's not forget that we do have Stamble of Gas. We can sacrifice a Prowler to draw a card if we really feel the need to. But we also have Hook Horror. So let's make the cuts that I think that I would cut here. So let's start with the Unicorn. I'll probably cut... I want the Naga. I like the Naga in the main deck. It's a very difficult creature to get off the board once it lands. We want those types of things. I do think Beholder will be good in the main deck. Squadron would also be a fine card to play. So I think I'm going to cut one of the Hook Horrors as well. I'm sticking with the Chain Devil. I think Iron Golem's fine. It has its place. Like if you break parity with the board and you slam an Iron Golem, it's very difficult at that point to not have to. They have to play a creature, and whatever they play next is probably going to trade with the Iron Golem. We have a lot of creatures, so 22 to be exact. But let's take a look at our removal. So Sworn to the Legion is such a broken card that it makes me want to play white. And the fact that we have 2 of the best mythics in white makes me really want to play white. That's why I'm really showcasing white here, because I think it's very good. But let's add our removal spells from our white to the deck and our black ones. We also got Blood Money here. I think we can do a pretty good job here. We have Desperate Ritual, which does make me want to play Horde Robber a little bit more because it is a lower end, but maybe we'll hold off on that for now. I'm just going to put the cards in that I think that I probably could play in the deck at this point as white-black. Uh, I'm not against Lantern. I think it's a fine card. If we need more removal, it's fine. Cloak of the Bat. If we had like a lower curve, I think it would actually be good. But our curve is kind of meh, so uh, not that great. And the Orb might be fine to play. So we'll put that in there. Okay, so with all this, Basil's color here. I think we can build a strong enough deck to beat the meta. Ranger Squadron is kind of slow. I've actually been very unimpressed by this card. When it first came out, I thought it was good, but I've only found it to be really good in like decks like green white, where you can curve into this. It's a nice finisher in green white, and there's a lot of ways to support its power to trade a lot. It's a good card because you can get the double team's very good, but we have a card in our deck. Sworn Legion turns all of our cards into double team, which is really cool with cards like Radagashia and Lulu. Making extra copies of these before they're flipped can give you more things to flip with them, and it's pretty awesome. Um, and getting second, like an extra copy of an Ancient Dragon, that'd be insane. Um, so let's see. We'll put the dragon here. We got some decent cards here. We definitely look like a mid to late game kind of deck, so we could definitely keep that in mind. Which means that Chain Devil's probably not great. Like, Chain Devil works fine with Containment, but not very much with the Seal and Sea Tower Imprisonment. But it is a removal spell nonetheless. And you want to keep your mana curve pretty low. Yeah. This is an embarrassment of riches right now, so we're just figuring out exactly how we want to play this. I like Hookor a lot. I think it's very good. We have Skullport Merchant that works really well with it, and Deadly Dispute. I think Deadly Dispute's a good reason to play Horde Robber at this point, but I'm basically playing a Horde Robber as a blocker that can block pretty well in the early game, and then you can stack it late game, and it'll be fine to trade this for 2 cards and a treasure. I think our weakest part is right here. We want to stay, because we have such a really powerful late game. If we can grind with the early game and get to this late game, it's kind of nice. We have let's see how many removal. 1, 2, 3. With Blood Money, I think Blood Money. I feel like sometimes this is like a win more card, but it can be a catch up card. I think we're gonna side out Blood Money. Maybe we don't. Maybe we keep it in. Because the other way we could play this is play very little removal. And just try to like get to the late game. Because we do have a very powerful late game. We keep in like a couple of the good removal spells. And Nefarious Imp can definitely get us into the late game. We have 2 ramp spells here, which can help us get into this part here. So I'm kind of inclined to keep these. So we just got to figure out what we want to cut. I think we'll kind of It's just difficult. It's just a difficult deck to build. Like I think we're going to be playing against a lot of like aggro decks or mid range decks, and I think this is better against mid range. This type of like blood money is really good against them, and just having a good top end. I think Guardian Naga plays a really good role of helping against the mid range decks and cards like Basil Scholar. Um, so let's see. I think we could probably cut. It's really hard here. Maybe we just cut these because they're just not that good. Cut a hook horror or 20 creatures. I do like the Baleful Beholder, but it is a little slow, so we'll cut it. Um, I don't know how much Paladin's going to be important, but I imagine if we get a good solid start, it's probably fine. This is a tough deck to build. I think we'll cut the Ice Wind Stalwart. Although it is good with a couple of our creatures. We could probably cut a Nefarious Imp. Probably, you know. I don't know how many of these I want to cut, though. I do think it's really good with Lulu, because Lulu really only triggers with flying creatures. So, granted, it'll give another creature flying. I don't know. It's pretty good, though. And Nefarious Imps are flyers already. We have Pilgrim's Eye as well. Pilgrim's Eye will help us get to our mana. We just need to cut a couple more cards. Maybe we're just... I'm glad to be in this position where we have to play, decide whether we cut Lulu or not. I don't know how much I want to. I don't think I will. I think we'll cut a Nefarious Imp here. Maybe we cut Guardian Naga. Mm-hmm. Um, we could cut... I don't think we want to cut any more of our early game. We could cut the Horde Robber, but I think that would be a mistake. I think we cut a... I think we cut the Guardian Naga. We can bring it in from sideboard. And I think this is our list. Like, granted, we could play red. We'd be playing red over white, which isn't bad. Our red does offer us quite a bit. We get Warcaller, Rouser. So Warcaller would be in over a Unicorn. Rouser would just fill in probably for... These two red drops will fill in for, like, Lulu, Radakash. Priest would be replaced with Weapon Tree. We'd bring in both of the Cell Swords over the two white cards. We'd bring in the Duelist over the Paladin. Gut over Sworn Legion. Ancient would probably be replaced by... Baleful Baldur? Yeah, I mean, we get a little bit more consistency in the early game, which is fine. But we miss out on all this like really powerful stuff, and I think just having a better idea of it, I think this is just better. Like Sworn Legion by itself is super good. We do need to keep creatures in play, so we want to make sure our creature count's pretty high. 16 is like is good, but you know we have a lot of cards to keep us in the regular on that. This is also a creature when it enters, so slightly better than that. Yeah. I think this is good. I think this will make me happy. We're gonna definitely change our basics though. We're gonna be playing different art. Maybe we just. Yeah, I like these lanes a little bit more. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So yeah, we want one more swirl. Alright, this looks like the deck. I feel pretty confident about it. We have a lot of interesting synergies. We just got to play. One of the biggest things that I do sometimes is play a little too fast. Got to take the clock and take your time. These games are going to take a while to play through. Just know that going inside this, because this format is very much about timing and clutch play. With further ado, let's try to win us. Let's try to win the play a win and in. We have very powerful cards, and we're going into our first match here. Frozen Optimism. There you go. Okay. Just analyzing. We're on the play. We have a turn 2 into turn 3. Both are Vantage engines, which is a very good opener. We got Paladin and Blood Money. Paladin's kind of meh. It'll be fine with these cards, but it's kind of meh. And Blood Money is just an okay card. So what we're looking at is like a 5-card hand. If we would mulligan this hand, I would have been happy to just have these. So these are just icing on the cake at this point. So this is a pretty good hand. We'll definitely keep it. Opponent is mulliganing. And anywhere you can save time is good. So like when we were reviewing our hand there, our opponent should have been reviewing their hand. And I always like to greet our opponent with a hello. We'll start with our Prowler here. So they played a creature that doesn't block very well, or we can't block it very well without losing our creature. I'm going to play the Ancient Lore because over the Pilgrim's Eye, because I think we're fine with drawing land because we have these late game cards, but also we're just not blocking this. So this is protection from enchantments and artifacts, so it has hexproof, but we can still attack here. Now we could shut down this, but then they can just destroy it, so it really doesn't do anything for us to do that. So I'm just going to play the Pilgrim's Eye. I don't mind if my creature dies at this point. I will take the plains here. So we could double block this, but then we'd be trading. and I'm fine with just taking 4 here. That card's pretty good. So we have 27. So unless they draw extra cards, they'll still be ahead. We won't mill. So we have a couple plays we can make here. We can just attack with our Prowler and our Pilgrim's Eye, so it's 3. We can up the clock by playing our Paladin. Or we could play Imprisonment on this. So if we played Imprisonment here, that would give us a 2-1 as well. Allowing them to get this cut off, but they'll still be taking 2 extra damage. Which is the same amount of damage that we take if we played Paladin. But it puts a body into play and then upgrades our Paladin to being able to go wider next turn, and they have to spend their mana to do that. We're just going to play Paladin, though. Because this lets us be aggressive and defensive. Overall, that's fine with me. Because we can still make that play next turn. There's the Librarians, which are fine. They're still going to be ahead on cards, which means they get to draw 1 more card off of their exile. Now, we're about to break parity there. Just thinking, we could attack with a Prowler. We're definitely getting in for 1. If we shut down their exile, we get a creature. We swing. They could do like some double block here. Probably a double block there. We could also wait. At this point, they might trade. Because 3 damage. We could also just wait and just swing for 3. We don't have to attack with this. I doubt they, like... I don't think they want to lose their exile, so... We definitely attack. So we'll just hold back on that. We'll just attack like this. This is fine. Yeah. At that point, this has served its purpose. And I'll gladly take a card. Now we're deeper. We're not going to mill again. So we're set up a little bit better against our opponent if we have to Wrath. And we probably will Wrath. I don't think that we really get much of a choice because this card's really powerful. Although we don't have a really strong hand after a Wrath. But it all depends on what we draw. That's pretty good for us. Especially since we were thinking about wrathing. At this point, we kind of just want to urge our opponent to... so they get to draw another card. Deadly Dispute is a nice pickup here. So... we can't really attack. There really isn't a play here to be made. I would Wrath, but I don't think we need to. And we have 2 lands to keep us protected from a singular discard 2 card spell, so I think we're in a really good spot now. The fact that we can Deadly Dispute in response to them like seeking a card to try to mill us is one thing. Oh, wow. They definitely don't know that we have a Wrath. So we would mill here. Because it says, draw a card if your opponent has more cards. So I am going to sack this regardless, so we're just sacking our priest here to draw. That's a really good card to draw. So that gives us 9 mana, which is just short of being able to cast this and this. I kind of want to play Sworn to Legion, but we definitely don't want to die to the Bronze Dragon. Granted, they probably have a reanimate spell, but at this point in time, yeah, we just do this. We gain treasures. And that'll give us a lot more mana to work with next turn. Even though they drew more cards than we did, we managed to stay ahead of them on cards, which is quite amazing. Okay, so they can get back their land. They didn't have to mill there. They probably shouldn't have. Get back their guard and a land. They didn't even want to bring back a land. Weird. So Skullport Merchant would be the most insane card we could get here. We didn't. Yeah, we're just playing Nefarious Imp here. I don't need to play my Legion, so we'll just pass. Because this will give it to all of our non-token creatures anyways. I don't want to draw land. And if I can draw a straight removal spell for the dragon, I'll take it. Basilisk Collar is interesting. Yeah, it's actually quite good. We'll leave that on top. That is not great. Okay. So I'm pondering here whether I want to keep that Basilisk Collar on top. So what we can do next turn is we have enough to pay 6 mana to play this. We have enough mana to play an Equipped. We have enough mana to play Imprisonment. But I think we want to imprison the Disciple. This card is very good. Over the Bronze Dragon. And my reasoning there is that if we can equip this, we can attack with it. But we cannot also play its duplicate with the Sworn Legion. But we can do a couple plays. I think here we do need to just dig for an answer. And I think Basilisk Collar is not it. So we'll bottom that. So that's pretty good with our Sworn Legion. Now, what they can do with this is, since they're green-blue, it looks like, they might be splashing black. They can get back this exile card with it, maybe even the Dread Lenorm in their hand. I really don't have any creatures in my yard that are worthy of taking. We're definitely going to have to shut down this Bronze Dragon, so I'll start there. Play the Spawn. We want to do these one at a time so we can make sure we're scrying the right card to the top. That is not it. Now, this does force our opponent to get an answer to our Scorned Legion or an answer to the enchantment we just played. Oh, I guess they can get back. So there's the blue side to this card, which is choose up to one target creature card and up to one target instant or sorcery from one card. You then duplicate those into your hand. So I think that's what they're going with it here. But they won't be able to play it this turn, the Wrath. So we get a turn with our Legion. Okay. That's not going to work the way you think it does. You needed to get a creature. You get one of these. They got to take blood money here. Yep. Alright, they have Wrath. We know they have Wrath now. Now, I could scry, because I know that the bottom of my deck is this. And getting a Basilisk color closer to the top seems fine. Yeah. Well, we could use the mana next turn, so I think I'll just take a random card at this point. That card's okay. Alright, so we're just going to go into combat here. So we get to refill our hand. Which is fine. Now they take 4. We get to scry 1. Another land to the bottom, which is good for us. No, they don't have to Wrath next turn unless we make them Wrath. So we will cast a Soldier here. And that's kind of all we need to put on the battlefield at this point. Now, they don't get to use that again. But they do need to either put something more onto the board, use a removal spell or something. Because our Vampire represents lethal. And I don't want to put this into play, get the trigger, and not have it work. That's fine. Another land on the bottom. We have an answer to their Ancient Bronze Dragon in our hand. Okay. If there was ever a draw, that was amazing. It's actually quite good here. So, I mean, yeah, I guess we definitely pump here. Attack. So we know they're most likely just going to Wrath next turn. They're going to gobble up our graveyard, which saddens me, but, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, I will play my land, prepare for next turn. We know they're going to Wrath. So they can discard a blue card. They can discard a black card. And green. Okay. I don't want to reveal Ancient Dragon, because I don't want them to be prepared for that. Okay. Great. They didn't have another answer. That's good for us. Woo. Okay. So now we can take a review at their deck. So they got... This creature's pretty good. Ancient Bronze Dragon, Null Hunter. They got some decent cards. Split the Spoils. That's interesting. Yeah, our opponent did make a couple mistakes. They're probably not going to make those mistakes again. They were minor, but they felt relevant. Like the Druidic Ritual. A huge one was the flipping of this. Not getting a creature back from their yard was a huge mistake. So Minimus Containment looks like it could be very good in this matchup. We didn't see any artifacts or enchantments in their yard, so Naga doesn't need to be in here. And that way we don't have to bring in Beholder. We might want to bring in the Devil. They didn't have a ton of creatures. I kind of want to cut Basilisk Collar, but I think that might be a mistake. Nefarious Imp was definitely good. I think our deck looks pretty strong on top of everything that we have already. But they probably are going to bring in more Disenchants, so that makes me kind of not want to bring in Minimus Containment. But Eyes of the Beholder should probably come in. Hook Horror looks really bad in this matchup. I think everything else is going to be fine here. I think Eyes of Beholder is a little bit better. It makes our creature count 15, but this is going to be okay. Just having another answer to their 3-5 would have been fine. I wouldn't have had to wait on the Wrath, but you gotta play with what you got. This isn't the best hand, but it's not a bad hand by any means, so I'm going to keep it. Granted, we don't do anything till turn 3 with this hand, but if we have a white source, we can blink this, which is a nice way to get back into the game if they come at us aggressively. We do have to draw a white, though, to do that. This is a fine card. I will gladly trade this for the Basilisk if we have to. They probably won't attack if they do. As a matter of fact, I would rather trade my spawn for it, so we'll just say go. They do have band together. That's kind of a big reason. No other colors yet. I will just bring this back. Just take advantage of what we have going on. Okay, they're going to definitely mill themselves because they need mana. We really don't need to make any moves quite yet. It is interesting they would make that attack, but we can take 4 or 1. We got to sneak 2 damage in, because they really can't afford to just throw away their creatures at this point. They're definitely behind here. It is quite good. Although we really can't attack right now. It's a pretty easy block for us. We do have an answer to this right now. You definitely want to scry first here. Shambling Gas is actually really good to play with Deadly Dispute in my hand. So we'll do that, and we will pass. Alright, so they don't have black mana yet, but that could change really easily. Sure. They'll probably mill themselves again. I mean, they do have land and a creature to get back if they want. Yeah, Druidic Ritual is a good card, for sure. Bum, 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 bum. Sure. I think now is the time for this. So we'll just cast this card, which will grant us a treasure. As much as I want a plains, we definitely don't want swamps. Nice. I mean, they're more likely to kill my flyer than they are going to kill my nefarious amp. With the band together, yeah. Oh man, I would have loved to have punished him there, but that was a punishment on us. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. And we drew a Basilisk Collar. That's kind of nutty. Alright. Well, they don't have a Death Toucher in play right now. And they just used their Eder Cap. Try to punish them with this. And we'll say go. Now, we didn't show this last time, so they are going to be a little bit less prepared for it. This is one of those cards they have to have an answer to it, and right now they don't. Gif is fine. They have one blue open, so I'm not sweating it. I will draw another card. Alright, so we do an answer to the Eder Cap, which is nice. We'll just take care of the Eder Cap then. Don't need to show that card yet. We'll just attack. Sure. We could flip this. I'm debating whether we should or not. And we might as well. We got a swamp to throw away. Yeah, we'll just play our last two cards. I don't think that they can really do anything at this point. Oh, GG, sir. Woo! Victory number 1. That's a huge jump. 2-0 sweep. Oof. Gonna lie, our mythics definitely carried us there. It's nice to get a huge boost to 2,000 gems. Another win gives us another big boost, which will be great. We definitely taking it one match at a time. Woof. That was pretty awesome. Let's just get right into it and let's play another one. We're playing against Stan Islav. Maybe it's Stan Lazdinsky. That's I hope not. Looks like it could be a pro player. Definitely testing our metal here. I do like this hand. Definitely a swamp would make it a little bit better with, if we draw one. But I definitely am keeping this. I greet you, opponent. It would be unfortunate if we don't draw a land here. That's okay. game is far from over, in my opinion. They're definitely getting into a position to attack us. So I think we will take this time to attack them. Because we just need to survive. We have a lot of good cards to survive too. Doubt they want to trade the Ancient War here for the Walrus. That is fine. So, let's think about this. Yeah, we'll play Skullport Merchant, and we will pass. I mean, if they want to bounce their guy back to their hand, I am okay with it. We take it. It's unfortunate that we didn't draw a land there, but Hook War is actually not terrible. Granted, they can make things unblockable. I think here... we just play a creature. I could play the Cleric here, but I'm thinking about playing Shambling Ghast. If we play Cleric, then we could do like a triple block on the bear. We'll only lose one creature. No, we'll play Cleric. Okay, here, shortening this clock very fast. So, we definitely get back our priest here. Because we want to make sure we're hitting our land drops. Well, I guess we don't have to. We could just play Bloodghast. And then we sacrifice Bloodghast, gain treasure. Then, yeah, we can pass here. Sure. They're definitely playing as though we don't have an out. Okay. So we know we're going to play Pilgrim's Eye. So we're going to play Pilgrim's Eye. We'll go get a land here. We'll drop out our Hook Horror. And we will pass. We are technically losing this race based on our board state. They probably don't see the Sworn Legion coming here. And they've already used their Neutralize. Okay. They're going to get back. Oh, nice. We get to see more of their deck. They're playing 2 of the Dragon because they feel that powerful about it. Invoker is not a big deal. The Worm Sentinel is a little bit. I'm going to hope they don't have an answer to this in their hand. We still have quite a few lands. We still have lands left in our library. But we do have answers that we need to draw. We will take it here. Deadly Dispute. Very good draw. We won't attack with the Pilgrim's Eye, but I think we do attack with these. I assume that's how they were going to do that. Alright, so I am going to sacrifice this Pilgrim's Eye here. And I think Horde Robber will give us a chance. Granted, we are dead if they have double removal spell or something. But we have to play to our outs. Dragon's Fire. Sure. You got another one? It would not take this long if they. Okay, they had an answer. Okay, so they had the juvenile mist. There wasn't a lot I could have done at that point. That's why I was desperately looking for an answer to the worm. Yeah, they have us. Yeah, they played out their whole hand. I don't understand that. Hiding information is really good against us. Alright. Okay, we're bringing in the Beholder. Definitely bringing in the Beholder. Oh, why are we bring? No, not Beholder. We're bringing in the Eyes of the Beholder. Definitely want to have another answer. They'll know not to overextend this time. But you kind of have to. Excuse me. They're definitely going to hold on to their enchantment removal a little bit longer. But Minimus Containment can kind of like be a little spiky. I do think we could have won that game had they not had 2 removal spells. Although they did have the removal spell. If we had the removal for their dragon, I think we do win that game. But we didn't. That's why I was digging for it. So, Hook Horror was fine. It would have been fine in that game. I don't think it's that great, though, here. I just don't really see anything else we can really cut at this point. Lulu does look a little weak here, but it still gives flying to creatures. I'll get the Hook Horror. If we just had a removal there instead of the Hook Horror, that would have been not great, but it would have been fine, because then we could have killed their guy, and then they would have been playing into another Wrath. But it's all about... This hand's pretty good. I would definitely not throw this away. Them having a turn 2 young blue dragon makes me feel like they might have more than one in their deck. Yeah, Priest is a nice draw here. Okay, so I mean, if they have a removal, it'll force them to use it. They don't have red right now, so we'll just take the Walrus. I think we do kind of have to beat down on our opponent this game. That's fine. Yeah, they're digging for land. So here we will, I think we're going to leave this. No, their removal's burned. Yeah, we're going to flip it for... Oh, make it into a 4 attack. Because if they kill it, then we get a 4-1, so they're not left in that position. That's fine. I guess before we equipped, I'd rather use a treasure here to do it. Granted, they do get their guy back. We get a 4-1, and they get to scry 2. Owlbear, that's fine. Yeah, we'll play it. Okay. Their Beast Dragon is fine. Fine with that as well. So we know they have Druidic Ritual, they can just play their guy. We're not quite ahead on cards yet, so we need to make sure we do that. We have Pilgrim's Eye right now, so I'm not really worried about it. Doesn't matter, we're searching our deck, so... Since both of these trade for these guys... This kind of forces them to have to play into our Wrath. Alright. Please don't have a counterspell. I'll take it. I can pump. There's 4, 5, 9, 17. So 16 divided by 4 is 4. So they have to block or they die. I don't think I need to do that. So I could kill them this turn, but I am not going to. I'm going to draw. I can get back my Menace dude, which is bigger than their 4/4. I think that's where we'll start. And we have a ton of plays to make. Don't need to play my Stalwart, so I won't. Because I have nothing. Well, I could just play it, I guess. I'll just say go. Yeah. Basilisk Caller definitely gave us the edge that game. And they did have to. They were definitely forced into using their line up the shot again. It is good to know that they have Undersimplify. Their deck really doesn't start till turn 3 anyways. This time I'll be on the draw. Let's see. I only saw one creature that had... It's just that one guy that has Shroud 2. I think our deck is right. I don't think we can really change anything. Other than maybe cut Beholder for one of these Minimus containments. Or even just Beholder for Devil. There's no way that's right. We can go Minimus Container over Horde Robber, but I actually don't know if that's right. I'm just going to keep it as is. I think that we can beat this matchup. As long as we play smart. Our deck definitely has a lot more draw in it than theirs does. From what I've seen so far. And they just snap keep their hand. And I think I will as well. It's fairly decent. We definitely don't want to play Basilisk Caller right away. Wonderful draw. Do a Prowler. They must have 2 Walruses as well. Granted, if they have Dragonfire, I don't know how much I want to play the Monk. Especially with them thinking about the top cards of their deck. Yeah, definitely get in there for 2. For the Priest. We're getting a pretty good showing from our deck this round. This just turn. Probably Owlbear. Owlbear is a little unfortunate, but not that bad. Okay, so they know the top card of their deck. Okay, they get back their big dragon, most likely. Hold up. Fire? They have something. We're going to prevent them. We're going to make them use their Dragonfire now. They should not be able to tap for mana here. Yep. They gotta neutralize every time. Okay. I'm fine with trading for this, since we have removal in our hand. And we can just clearly go wide on this board now. Probably trade there. That's crazy. I think you're supposed to trade for the Death Toucher. Yeah, we're going super wide here. Okay. I mean, what could they have? Like, this is a free trade. I think we just play Basilisk Collar and whittle down their resources. Because I don't really want to play this. Yeah, we'll play Basilisk Collar here. If they have a Dragon's Fire, I'm not gonna, be too worried about it. We're gonna play it on the watch. There's no reason to lose our permanents that are not necessary to lose. Sure. They'll probably pump here. Yeah. Okay. Sure. We draw a land, that'll be really nice. You know, I'll take it. Now they're forced to play land into their guy, which we can answer. Now, we don't just have lethal here, do we? Pump. They block this, take 6. Alright. We have to pay the 2. Yes! Ah! Woo! I like to believe that was Stanley. This guy, because that guy's an incredible good player. I can't even say his name right, but. Oof. Oof. Oh, good win. Good win. Oh, man, their deck was seriously scary. All right. 1 second. I got to use a reprieve really quick. I need to reprieve myself. Give me 1 second. that's why we play sealed. This is why we do it. Is to have competitive games. Best of 3 is so much more satisfying. I will play first. You like this hand? I greet my opponent. One of those games where I'm going to need my Basilisk Call. I don't like the lead on a Basilisk Color here, but if I don't draw another land, equipping and swinging for 2 with a Death Toucher is probably fine. It is unfortunate. At least they go their hand. Give me a chance. Yeah. No, we can't really attack here. I did want to attack, but I'm not going to trade for their 2/2. Definitely need a land. We need to draw several lands. Forcing them to use removal on my creature is bananas. But that means they probably have some pretty good cards in their hand. Alright, so we drew a card. I think going Lulu into Spawn is fine. Or Lulu into Saloon is good too. We'll just start with Lulu. Because if we go land, Lulu, Stalwart, bounce Lulu would be not good. Not killing their Black Dragon, but I will play the Spawn here. Okay. We definitely want to hit a land. We can answer their grove with our lore here. Disappointment. Their deck is pretty good. They probably have something here. Oh, okay. So, they've revealed 3 solid removal spells and a decent creature. I can only hope they don't have an answer to an imprisonment here. If we draw a land. Getting them to use their creature removal with this in my hand is fine. Okay, okay. They have no creatures in their yard, so this isn't really useful right this second. So we'll start here. And that's probably it. Going down to 1 life. Don't need to see much more after that game. We definitely lost due to Mana Screw, but I think we can beat this matchup. We just need to play a little tighter, I guess. I mean, like, there's nothing I can do. Like, let's call a spade a spade. I lost because I didn't draw what I needed to draw, which was land. With 2 land hand with a really solid start, it's really hard to not keep those hands. They didn't really show us anything that scary that we have to really overly prepare for. They showed us mana dorks, 3 removal spells plus combat trick. They have a reanimate spell, decent. They have some really good cards. But we also have good cards. Honestly, I think we're fine to keep it as is. We could maybe bring in the Beholder, but I think Hook Horror balances the board pretty well, minus the dragon. Yeah, so we'll just keep it as is. I think we can give our deck a fair shake. Granted, they could have a bunch of big butts in their deck because they are green. Problem with this hand is that it doesn't go anywhere really fast. Granted, this is a very hard card for their deck to deal with. I mean, Sewer Plague's good against it. But the Dragon's Fire would have been a no-go, and the Band Together, probably not. We do have a Paladin. I mean, we do get a creature out early. I think mulliganing is just intentionally wrong here. We have a lot of ways to draw well here, and we flood out. It's probably not great, but I'd rather take the shot of having a decent turn 1 play. And we have a ton of 3-drops to draw here that'd be excellent to draw. That's not the worst card. Nice start again for our opponent. Natural 20. I gotta give him the nice. I don't understand the oops. I could trade there, but I'd rather keep my permanents if I can. This is one of those cards that I think should have been legal in the base set, because it doesn't seem overpowered at all. You're playing a 4 mana 2/2 that, yeah, it gets you 2 cards with an upside if you roll well. Chance cards are never that exciting in a standard format. You're usually not that great either. Okay. Pilgrim's Eye is not that scary at all. Nor is Circle the Moon Druid. Yeah, we'll take 2. We got a Paladin here. Can't really attack with it, but they no longer can attack us other than with the Pilgrim's Eye. I mean, they could have band together here, but I'm not 100% against that. The longer we survive, the better it is for us. Prowler into Bone Caller Cleric. Interesting. Another land makes me sad, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, my unicorn's a little underwhelming. The longer the game goes, I feel the better it is for us. They've drawn a lot of lands this game. It's kind of crazy. I could attack here and trade. I know I don't have very many cards to bring back from my graveyard that are that impressive other than the dragon that's in my hand. But, they don't know that. I don't really care if they bring back their... If they use their cleric to bring back their one of these guys, I don't really care about that at all. They're definitely sitting on removal here. Basilisk Caller. Basilisk is pretty good. But we'll start here. They definitely don't have an answer to my merchant, or they don't want to play one. Don't have any good attacks right now, so we'll just pass it to them. They showed us Sewer Plague. I would rather not play our dragon into Sewer Plague. And they have Band Together, and Band Together is very good with Basilisk. We'll go to blocks. It's a pretty easy block here. The deeper I get to go into the deck, the better it is for me. Okay. Definitely play my guy. They want to kill my guy, I can blink, I can sack it and draw. I mean, at this point, Band Together is probably better. Using their Band Together on a creature like mine is probably not great. Because I'm still getting a card out of the deal. Even though they are land, it's still not the end of the world for me. But baiting out removal is very good for me with my giant creature in my hand. Granted, I have drawn almost all of my land in my deck. I still have 20, yeah, I have 5 lands left. Basilisk. I'll take it. I can afford a damage a turn at this point. Nice. The Reanimate's going for their draw spell. Hook Horror was very good. I would say. I think we have a really good shot at it. Now we're in a position where we can attack. And I will. If they want to trade, I'm fine with it. I'll take out their robber. Because if they do have another reanimate spell, I'd rather than not thin their deck. Yeah, they have a lot of penalty stuff. Their removal must be very good. If I don't have to show them the Ancient Dragon, I will not. I could play the dragon here. I mean, they kind of just went into that block phase. I don't think they have an instant speed removal, which means they don't have... I'm just going to play it slow. I think it's better to do that. Because we have an inevitability. We'll take one. Now they're kind of forced into playing something. Okay. Red Dragon. Nurturer. Drawing cards here is good. Yeah, we can take out their red dragon. So I will. Yeah, they definitely haven't shown us a removal, but I'd rather just... This is... No, that's terrible. I think we just attack for... I think we're going to attack for 2. And if they have removal, they have removal. Because if it is Sewer Plague, I can at least get in there for a couple turns of attacking. We'll just make them have it. Okay. Alright, we got there. They flooded out pretty hard, which was lucky for us because their start was golden. Now, they didn't really show us much. They have a 4/4 dragon, and they have the other uncommon dragon. I think they showed us Basilisk last time. And as you can see, it looks like they were definitely flooded. Now, they do have a manor. They're looking over our deck as well, so there's 11, 12... Probably 2 more lands in their hand. They were flooded pretty hard, but we were also flooded pretty hard. We have a lot of really good cards. As long as we don't get mana screwed like we did in Game 1, I think we can win this matchup. But we have a lot of inevitability in our mythics, which are very good. Plus Basilisk Collar. Now, they did have a lot of artifacts, it looked like. They had 2 Pilgrim's Eyes. And Naga is kind of good against they're bored from what I could see. This is a tough card to deal with when it's attacking you every turn. Yeah, I'm going to keep it as is. It's always good to think over your deck before you go with it. Here. Alright, Jebediah 3-4. Alright, they're definitely pulling over their deck here. They haven't seen a Wrath, and they haven't seen Sworn to the Legion. And the only enchantments they've seen are my enchantment that imprisons a creature, and they've seen my Pilgrim's Eye. So they have 2 cards to think about bringing in Disruption for, but it's probably not worth it. They did see the Elder Dragon, so if they weren't running Ettercap, they are going to be running it now. Oh, it's just stuff to remember. Hopefully we just get an opening hand like we did before against our last opponent, and just have a very good oppressive hand of aggression. So this hand has a lot of potential if we draw a land. I think a lot of people would be scared out of this hand. But based on my opponent's speed of their deck, I don't think they can come at us that hard. We do have a Pilgrim's Eye and Vampire Spawn, a fine Hook Horde to play, and then we have 2 bombs to play against them with two very good creatures to Swarm the Legion with. Now they did just Snapkeep their hand, which means they probably have a good mana accelerator. And if they can ramp into like a turn, I guess in this case it would be like a turn 4 dragon, we would probably have a very tough time dealing with a 4/4 that hits us for 4 mana. Do I keep or do I mulligan? Yeah, this hand gets a little ugly if our opponent has a very fast start. Alright, I'm going to keep it. I believe in my hand. I really do. Step 1, get a 3rd land. Okay, they didn't have a play on turn 3. Alright. Yeah, we'll play the priest then. They have the sewer thing, that's fine. Okay. We don't have another red to play the dragon yet. Alright. Definitely attack. Because if we can get them to play spells, that'll be very good for us. Sure. I did forget about that card, but that's fine. Making sure we hit our land drops is huge. I can only hope they don't... Okay, they didn't have another red source, and they're missing their double black mana. So they can't cast either of their dragons right now. We are a little hosed. Now, granted, if they go land, play this giant creature, we're gonna have a tough time. So I'm thinking. Yeah, I think our best odds of winning this game is just getting in play. They could miss a land drop here. They did not. This dragon is pretty free for them. Did hit a land. No, we can't block this. I doubt they want to block with the robber here. Because it died, yeah. We got free damage in, it's good to do this. I'm thinking about slamming the dragon. Yeah, we're slamming the dragon. Deadly Dispute. If we ever needed something to dig to, that's definitely one of them. Alright. They get a free attack with their Lenormand. There's no way I'm blocking it. They could go sewer here. Oh my god, that's huge. That is definitely not what I want to see. Okay. We need an answer. We have a few of them. Robber, you've served your purpose. We scry anything but removal to the bottom. Oh, beautiful. Oh, that was so good. Get out of here. Alright, we do need to roll high here to win this game. Two is not high. They do get to... I think they can recast this, I think? No, they had exactly enough to play it. Okay, they won't see this coming, so we'll just play our merchant. They don't know about the vampire spawn. And if they do, I'm okay with it. Land to the bottom. Land to the bottom. They definitely should lead on attacking. This game has got me all flustered. Oh man. I can't block, so we have to take it. That is almost good enough. We have dragons. That is not good enough. We don't need that. Roll. An 8. And we got him. Boom, baby! Woo! Now we're in the finals. Whew. Man, taking that gamble on the horde robber. But it wasn't that much of a gamble. Manticore is an obvious card you can play in sealed, especially after sideboard. And if you're playing something like Horde Robber and attacking with it with the confidence that I had, would definitely suggest that I had Manticore, and you do not want to lose to that card. So, their best creature on board getting taken out by a flyer of all things would have been really bad. I don't blame them for not blocking, but I do blame them for not watching my stream. Alright. If we ever had a deck that could do this, it's this deck. Alright, playing against Nart. Oof. Yeah, can't keep this hand. I mean, we could. We have a lot of potential on the upside, and if we draw a white source, we could be fine. Yeah. Yeah, we'll keep. I've thought about it. I think it's worthy of a keep on the draw. Drawing a plains there was nice. Man, everyone's playing green-black. Alright, Horde Robber it is. I need to greet my opponent. If I don't, I'll feel naked. Micronid is a very good card. And I will be happy to take that off the board right now. Biggest reason, they don't have double black. We get to attack with this. We get a treasure, or we eat their token. Either is fine for me. The bear. Oh, man. He'll definitely block with the bear. So I think we just play to the board, right? Yeah, we just play to the board. We'll play a unicorn here. And we will pass. I think I will sacrifice my unicorn if he attacks, just so he could deal damage. They're missing a land. Okay, they make a dude. So they've played... Alright, here I will sacrifice my... I will sacrifice my robber for the good of the team. There we go. So, I could Grim this. There's also Basilisk Collar. There's also a Hookor here. Hookor is pretty good on this board, even if they have removal, because it comes back. And then I don't mind trading for that, but we can take 4 damage for 1 turn. Now granted, that takes us off of getting the blood money faster. But we could also just slap down. We could also play this, discard our cleric. Flip this into a 4/4 that when it dies, we get 4/1. It'll enter untapped. Yeah, I think we're just gonna play the. We'll play the horror here. I think this is fine. Because we have a good double block here. No. Don't think they have much. Yeah, cycling. That's good. Protects our Basilisk Collar. They get to play the ball, though. That does make me a little anxious. Now they have their other black mana. So far they've played some pretty good cards. This is fairly easy for me to make, this block. Because even if they have the +3/+3. Now that's surprising. Alright, we drew a land. Which means we can now freely flip this. We don't have to, though. I think we should flip it. Like, right now, they have nothing to get back from their graveyard. So this is looking kind of anemic. We do need to get on the board with attacking. But we can wait. I think we play Basilisk Collar, equip to the Hook Horror, and then play our creature and pass. Now, granted, we are playing into Blood Money, but Sworn Legion will be nice next turn. Okay, that doesn't really do anything right now. So our creatures now have double team perpetually. Okay, that is fine. It basically said that we can't attack now. That's fine. Okay. So we can attack with our Hook Horror and just slowly grind them with it, and then play another one, and then equip it. Because they're still in the same spot they were before. Now granted, their altar, we kind of just want to grind their altar here. We kill both their guys. Death Touch is good. My guy comes back to the battlefield. I play my land. Play his brother. Equip to this one and pass. They've already used their draw spell here. And their answer to our card is in their yard right now. They did reveal Alter, and that card is actually quite good. Okay. It's a pretty easy block here for us. Because now, every time they exile a creature they control, these are all good cards. They will not go to the graveyard. And that's just to get back their Werebear, which is not that great. Not while we have creatures. That's usually pretty good. This is a sorcery only. Okay, so here we can reanimate our Saloon. So here I am going to equip to this guy, and then we will attack with it. My big reason is that I get to put this back in my hand, and I'm okay with the trade here. And now that's permanently in the yard. We're playing it a little slow, probably more slow than we should. But I want this to be in my hand right now. I mean, this is a grindy game. This is going to be a tough game for our opponent to win, even if they have removal. Yeah, we attack again. Sworn Legion, very powerful card for a reason. I just missed your message, I'm sorry. I'm keeping that in my hand because I don't want to lose to Demigorgon's Clutches. That's a pretty anemic card. This time I'm going to put it on this one. I'm going to drop a land. Yeah, I will attack with this one, but not that one and this one. Just simply because it's fine. Because this one can come back, and I just want the double team. So if they block with the Werebear, it loses its hexproof. And then we get our guy back, because it has perpetual. Yeah, I'll reveal this, because giving this double team is disgusting. Drew the dragon, keeping my land in my hand. I can now play this. It perpetual. And we'll play the land now. I think we're at a point where we can give up some of the cards in our hand pretty easily. Okay. They have one card in hand. So this is the double team one, and that has double team. I mean, at this point, we just keep lighting them up here. So as it sits, yeah, we'll attack again. We'll attack with both of these. I think we're going to Wrath this turn. I mean, at this point, this is sorcery speed. When I play my Wrath, I'm pretty sure we'll get a concession. But leaving it on top, we get back our guy. Yeah, we'll Wrath here. Because all our guys have Perpetual, we get them back. We get a bunch of treasures. I don't see this going well for our opponent. Yeah, granted, they do get to start to avalanche slowly, but we're just so far ahead. Sure. I mean, at this point, we know what we can do. Alright, so I am just going to kill their guy. Yeah, we just attack here. Now, granted, if they have a card that can blow us out here, I'm not too worried about it. Just because our hand is pretty good. Like, they could have the same card. They could have Wrath. But the longer the game goes, we don't want that to be the case. So we're going to play another card here, which will draw us a card as well, while protecting our hand. Well, Deadly Dispute's good. So we'll just play our land. This is 2, 3, 6, and then 6. So that's 12 damage. Yeah, I guess we'll get one more creature into play, because we kind of want to. So this gives us lethal on them next turn. When we draw. And pass. We just want to make sure we set up lethal, so yeah, it looks like they're just going to suck it up and take some damage. Which kind of eats our clock a little bit, but not enough. Like, they're even behind on time, too, which is crazy for all the shenanigans we're doing. Lethal. Alright, got game 1. Ugh. Yeah, I know. That's the power of this card. When I first saw this card, I could not believe this is a card that you can get in draft. Alright, so what we did see is that Naga is probably good. So they have Altar, a ball, which is scary. It's actually quite a good card. And if they hadn't cycled this earlier, they would have had an answer to our Sworn the Legion. So we wouldn't have been able to do as much as we were doing, and Altar was very terrifying at that point. So I think we do want to bring in at least the Naga. Hook Horror was good that game. I don't really see anything else I want to cut necessarily. I feel like going wide against our opponent isn't that great. They do have a lot of creatures that are small, and it looks like they can go just as wide as we can, and they have good ramp. So I think we want to cut. I think we'll cut Paladin here, because I don't think that's going to give us the edge as much as Naga will. Naga's a big creature. It doesn't die to combat damage. It'll definitely hit on our turn. It's a very good card, and it's pretty much bigger than most of their cards. And it has the ability to help us break parity if they do get the altar in play. Other than that, I actually think our deck is pretty well suited in the matchup. We could even try to go a little bit more in the air with another Nefarious Imp. Maybe over Hook Horror. Hook Horror is fine, though. We do have Merchant, and Hook Horror has been insane with that. But there's also Eye of the Beholder, but I think having more removal is probably not necessary. They are more aware of our Wrath, but I think we're good to keep the rest of the deck the way it is. I love the Avatar. Elspeth is is incredible. Ah, man, this hand has a lot of land in it. I swear, we get a lot of land. Vampire Spawn is a good card. Our opponent's Snap kept, so their hand is probably just as good as it was last time. Or they're just in a hurry just to get the game over. I think we're supposed to mulligan. We want to have at least 3 plays in our opening hand. Having only one means that we're playing very risky Magic, and you want a pretty smooth hand. I'm gonna definitely mulligan. Okay, this is a lot better. We're definitely keeping this. I do like Guardian Naga and Sworn to the Legion. I don't think I want Legion in my hand, though. As much as I'd rather have interaction if they do get the altar in play. So I'm going to bottom this and keep the rest. I think the rest is good curve. Nice, we drew a land. We do get to shuffle our library. That's another big reason why I kept it. Okay. Them not having a turn 2 ramp spell was pretty nice for us. Very generous on their part. Yeah, they just put the altar into play. Okay. Altar is good. I think we just... Merchant's nice here. I don't think we can really race this. So, But I'm actually fine with double blocking with Pilgrim's Eye. I think my other card has a little bit more potential with it, and we'll just say go. If they want to make this trade, I am down. So if they do want this to live, they have to do it before blockers are declared. Unless they have like a pump spell. That would make me sad. But it would take away their turn. Okay, they're ramping, which is good for us. Because if they would have played a creature there, we would have, it could be a bad time. We got another blood money, which is good to know. They didn't show us anything with flying last time, so I think we're fine with playing Nefarious Imp here. Just gives us a creature that can do damage to our opponent over turn. Okay, that's pretty big. That's a nice answer to their card. I think we'll take it. Because taking 7 right now, it seems poor. They don't have any creatures in play, so they might slam this and we'll get the Guardian Naga it, which will be nice. Oof. That isn't nice. That's pretty good, too. Alright. They're probably not going to exile this right now. They have nothing else to really play. So we have a couple thoughts to be had here. Definitely start by attacking. I think we want to play the merchant here. They'll give us a little bit more mana to work with, and we'll pass. Because if they do play a creature, exile it, and then get back their 7/6, we do have Wrath set up. We are going to take it, though. That's fine. Now they can just reanimate it, which is fine too for them. Okay, we did draw the land we needed. I will attack for 2. Now they are aware of our Wrath, but they are not aware of our Naga. Now we can get rid of this for a turn. So if we play our land, if they have trample at all, we're definitely in a good spot to just Wrath here. If they have a creature they can play and reanimate, they'll reanimate the Dragonborn. So I think getting rid of the altar is good here. However, they have a card that gives +3/+3 and trample. We're not in a good spot unless we play another creature. So I will do that, and we will pass. This is an instant. That is fine. I allow it to resolve. Scry. Don't think we're going to need land after this. So. Okay. We will scry again. That I'll be happy to have in my hand. Okay, play another creature that's good for us. I hope they don't have another Deadly Dispute. Now they have to know that we have the Wrath in our hand. But we are at 6. Yeah, we just fire this off now. I mean, if they have an indestructible card, that would be brutal. Because that'll win them the game here. We will take land at this point. I definitely want a land. And the reason... I guess not. I forgot we're getting treasures. We can bottom that. Never mind. Because we're nowhere out of this yet. Specialist cost. That's pretty good. So if they have a removal, they're going to use it on our Guardian. They could also be thinking about, like, doing this. Yeah, they're looking at our Guardian here. I'm glad I put the land on the bottom, but I definitely should have put another land on the bottom. Don't think they know about the Ancient Dragon. Unless I don't remember showing you that. Well, we'll definitely play this first. Bait out any removal if they have any. Which I would be remiss to say if they didn't. Okay. Ooh, they brought in red mana. Crazy. Meteor Golem. Okay, Meteor Golem is good. Okay, we could go Monk. Take their Meteor Golem. I'm just going to play the dragon. Can't play around everything. Alright, they're seeking. They're going to go for the seeking. No removal, no removal. They're going again. Oh my gosh. All we gotta do is connect. Oh baby, give me that lifesaver. Alright. Bring us back into this game here. I'll take it. 10/1/1s. Give me that life. Your turn. Yes! Yes! Oh, yes! That feels so good! We're playing next week, baby. I'm pretty sure it's next week. Oh, yes! Yes! Woo! Alright, that makes me excited. Oh, yes, look at that. Good deck. Good deck building. I hope that this is going to make a great YouTube video. That's why I'm not playing music over the headset. We're definitely going to play some more. That's really exciting. I just got to end the video portion really quick. If you're watching on YouTube, this is going to be awesome. Please check it out. Yes, it will be awesome. Okay.